Hello and welcome all. You are watching Football Daddy. I am Ankit Agarwal. I am joined by my very good friend and co-host for all of the videos here at Football Video, Saksham Arya. Saksham, how are you doing?
Hello guys, I'm fine. How about you, Ankit?
I am doing good. So this is the first video at Football Daddy, as you know. So today we are going to be discussing about the Game Week 4 preview. We're going to be talking about the fixtures in Game Week 4. There are going to be some exciting fixtures for Game Week 4. We're also going to be talking about some of the hot topics going around Premier League this time of the week. As you know, we are going to be going into the international break pretty soon. So without any further ado, I think let's just start with the first agenda of the day, talking about the Game Week 4 fixtures and some of the hot topics. So as you can see on the screen on your right, we have got all the fixtures of the Game Week 4 lined up for you. And as you can see, we have some really cool fixtures for both days, Saturday and Sunday, today and tomorrow. I think the first point that I would like to start talking about is the Chelsea versus Crystal Palace game. Saksham, take us through your thoughts about how the game is going to go, how Chelsea is going to line up, how Lampard is going to make sure that Chelsea do not bottle this game.
Um, Chelsea under Lampard has been playing the possession game, while Crystal Palace have been known for its counter-attack this season. So I think both the teams will be playing at their strengths this week. Um, this might be the most action-packed game of the week, and you won't be surprised if Chelsea wins this one because they do have the home advantage. I mean, Zaha has been playing really good this week, this season, and he might score a goal or two. And on Chelsea's side, the defense has been shaky. They did sign in Thiago Silva, but let's see how it does. I mean, last week he was not good enough for the team. I mean, they
Yeah,
were 3-0
agreed.
down. And you can look at Lampard's face and tell that how disappointed he was in the first half. But they did come back from a 3-0 deficit.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that? I mean, they spent like $300 million in the whole team. They have some major signings this season. I think they have the best signings this season. So what do you think? How
Uh,
are they going to do?
I I agree with your point that they probably won the transfer market round. They got basically all of the players that they wanted: Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, Ziyech. They got Thiago Silva, Ben Chilwell, Eduardo Mendy in the goal right now, and they are also probably looking to get one more signing in, as far as I've heard. So yeah, a lot of good signings for them.
Oh,
Yeah. So apart from that, I think what is happening with Chelsea right now is last season when Lampard was playing with, was coaching Chelsea, he was essentially having a free pass. Chelsea was handed the transfer ban. They could not sign any new players. Lampard had only to work with the young squad that he had. Now, with that little, with all of those restrictions around him, I think Lampard was not, no one was expecting Lampard to take Chelsea to a great height, but I think he exceeded all of our expectations when Chelsea finished fourth in the league. Apart from that, I think, then if you come to this season, what is happening with Chelsea is since they have made so many signings, they have brought in so many players, the Chelsea fans and also football fans in general expect Chelsea to be performing that better. But they have not, as you can see. Against Liverpool, they lost. Against West Bromwich Albion, they drew 3-3. Against Tottenham in the Carabao Cup, they lost, although in penalties, but they still lost. So Lampard has not been getting Chelsea to perform as well as the Chelsea fans would have hoped for. I hope he turns it around quickly. He gets them playing better football. And as you mentioned about the defense, the shaky defense, I don't think we can anytime have a conversation about Chelsea's defense without talking about Kepa. So, guys who are watching this video, Kepa OP in the comment section below. I know it's really sad to see Kepa. Chelsea broke the transfer record for a goalkeeper to buy Kepa. Of course, they saw some potential to for Kepa to become a world class goalkeeper. There are some rumors floating on the internet that Kepa's form dipped after he broke up with his longtime girlfriend. I am not too sure how true or legit those points are. So we are not going to venture too much into it. But for the viewers at home, there's something that you might consider. But I really hope Kepa bounces back and he gets his form back. Apart from that, about Thiago Silva, I think he is going to be playing more of a Vincent Company role in City's last season. He's there to sort out Chelsea's defense. to help the young defenders coming through to get that experience from him. And in the big games, you might possibly see Thiago Silva playing, but I'm pretty sure Thiago Silva is not going to be playing week in and week out for Chelsea this season.
One more thing I'd like to point out is that Chelsea did sign Mendy this season. So do you think Mendy will be playing against Crystal Palace, or will you pick the Kepa?
Yes, I do think that Mendy will be playing against Crystal Palace this season. So before we move on to the next point, Saksham, tell us quickly your prediction for the game.
Oof. I
Definitely.
think 3-2 on Chelsea
3-4
side.
or Chelsea side. Okay. I will go with 2-1. I'll go with 2-1 for Chelsea. I don't think they can score 3 goals against Crystal Palace, but 2-1. Yeah.
So coming to the next question, Pep versus Bielsa. I mean, this is going to be a tough game, especially for Leeds, because they have things to prove. While City, they did not win the Premier League last season. They look like the potential team, but they didn't. So, what are your thoughts on this match?
As you can see on the screen, can the master produce a shock result against his young Padawan? Pep has gone on record to say that he is a Bielsa fan. He loves his tactics. So it will be interesting to see how he lines up against Bielsa. But Manchester City have looked shaky in defense, same as Chelsea this season. Last time around, they lost to Leicester City 5-2. So that is not a great sign for them. Bielsa, on the other hand, Bielsa likes to play attacking football, possession-based football. Really, he expects a lot from his players. And the viewers on people who are watching this video, we're also having a FPL section at the end of this video where we'll also be talking about Leeds and their assets more, to talk about how such a high demand from Bielsa can affect Leeds players' performance towards the end of December. Coming back to this point, Bielsa, again, as I said, he plays a very attacking football. So Leeds United have been looking shaky in defense. They have conceded 7 goals again in the 2 matches against Liverpool and Fulham. They've also scored 7 goals. So difficult game, but I think this is going to go in City's favor 3-2. That's my prediction. What do you think?
City lost 5-2 last week, right, against Leicester City.
And
that was a disaster.
3 penalties.
That tells a lot about defense, right? 3 penalties is not a joke, especially when you spend more than $300 million on defense.
Almost 5 million right now, 500 million right now.
I mean, this has to be the best meme of Premier League.
Yeah, like last season, I think they started with their defeat against Olympique Lyon in the Champions League when they quarterfinals, when they let go 3 goals, and this season against Leicester.
I mean, when you are a team that's been under Pep Guardiola for like 2-3 years, you expect the defense to be near point perfect, right?
Yeah.
But against the first game against Liverpool, they showed some real quality. I mean, the attack was supreme. That has to be the best. That already set the tone for the entire season. But so coming to the predictions, what do you think? What's going to be?
Yeah, man, as I said, I think it's going to be 3-2 in City's favor. I don't see Leeds winning this match.
All right, but they do have the home advantage, so
yeah,
I think this might be a tie. I'll go for a tie. 2-2.
Let me push you towards giving a very controversial opinion. Let's say, do you think Leeds can win this match?
Oh God, Leeds can.
A controversial opinion section.
No, I don't think they can. I mean, this might be a good clickbait, but no, I don't think Leeds can. Sorry.
So guys, we are not giving you clickbait. We are giving you original opinion. Like, share and subscribe this video right now. So yeah, coming to the next point, is Everton the real deal? 3 matches, won 9 points, perfect record. They're coming into this, I think, with 6 games continuously winning, including the Carabao Cup. What do you think? Is Everton the real deal?
Everton fans have a reason to be excited this season. They have been doing so well. They have Carlo Ancelotti, a manager who's been known for winning Champions League. I mean, that has to say something, right? And whenever you see Carlo Ancelotti score, like AC Milan, take Real Madrid, take Bayern Munich. These
Yeah.
big names, they always played counter attacks and position-based games. I mean, they could play all kinds of passes, and this Everton team might not be different. They will do really well in attacks. About defense, I am not sure if they've made any major signings, but James Rodriguez, he's been doing really well. But that does not mean Brighton is a small team. They've
Yeah.
been doing really well this season too. So, what are your thoughts on Brighton, by the way?
Yeah, as you said, I think Brighton is one team to look out for. All the top 6 teams, top 7 teams, they should look out for Brighton. They have got a great squad. I'm saying you. They have in their defense. I'm just going to focus on defense for Brighton because the stats here are not in favor of Brighton. They have conceded 6 goals, 3 against Chelsea, 3 against United, uh, and 1 clean sheet against Newcastle. But I'm telling you, the stats are not doing justice to the defense that Brighton has. They have got Lewis Dunk, which I think was a standout defender for me last season. They have got Ben White coming from Leeds. He's originally a Brighton player. They loaned him to Leeds for last season. He played really well for Leeds in the championship last season. They've got Lamptey. Lamptey is probably one of the world's most sought after right backs right now. Bayern Munich are after Lamptey. I'm not going to be surprised if next season Bayern Munich gets Lamptey and we see the Alphonso Davies and Lamptey. And if that happens, I'm telling you, no one is stopping the wing backs of Bayern Munich. There's no chance. Excellent players. Even they signed this Ajax boy for a very low fees. I do not know how were they able to do the business, but they've got a pretty solid defense. And I'm telling you, I'll not be surprised if Everton comes up against their strongest opponent till date against Brighton. So Everton fans, look out for Brighton. They're gonna give you a good match.
Yeah, every season we see this one towards the bottom table team that gives a good match against the top teams like Chelsea, Arsenal, and all these. And I think Brighton might be that team this season. They might not get relegated, but they will do very well against the teams. So coming
Yeah.
to predictions, what are your predictions for this match?
Even though I think Brighton is a very solid team, but I'll still go. Um, I'll still go 2-0 to Everton.
2-0. All right. Okay.
2-0 to Everton. Yeah. What do you think?
Okay.
What do you think?
Uh, okay. I think 2-1 to Everton.
1. Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. So maybe Mope can score. Mope,
They might. I mean, Everton has been scoring a lot more goals this season than they did
I
last season.
honestly I am biased towards Everton right now because I have Calvin Lewin Harris in my FPL team. I really want Calvin Lewin Harris to score. I really want him to score. So yeah, coming to Mourinho coming for revenge at Old Trafford. So I am a United fan. Sakshan here is an Arsenal fan. Uh, so before I take this question for Mourinho, I think I would like Sakshan's opinion on Mourinho because number one, Mourinho coached Arsenal, Real Madrid, which Sakshan supported previously for Kaka also, not for the team, but only for Kaka. So Mourinho,
Thanks for clarifying.
Mourinho was coaching Real Madrid. Then he came to Chelsea, then United, then he has gone to Tottenham. And as an Arsenal fan, I think you will have an opinion for a Tottenham Hotspurs coach. So what do you think?
I mean, Jose Mourinho does really well against big teams because he has this fixed mindset of how to win games. I mean, they'll have the opponent have all the possession, and during counter attacks, they'll score 1 goal and then just park the bus. They're only focused on winning, so I never like the playing style. But Spurs, it's a really good team, and when you see players like Harry Kane, who has the most assists in the Premier League this season,
Yeah.
which is
The
shocking
best
because
midfielder. He is the best midfielder in the season right now.
yeah, true. So I mean, they have players like Son, they have Deli Ali. Deli Ali has
Son
not
is
been
not
doing
playing
well.
right now. Son is injured. So Son will not be playing against United. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. But they do have Lucas Moura, right? Remember 2 years ago when they played against
Against
Barcelona,
Ajax.
right?
Against Ajax.
Yeah.
Ajax.
Oh,
In
Ajax?
that.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, when you look at Spurs lineup, it's really good. And as an Arsenal fan, I hate it. I hate that they have a good lineup, but oh, they do have Bale. He won't be playing, but
Yeah,
they still have made some big signings.
yeah, yeah.
And
Like
Manchester United, on the other hand,
even
he had
like for just sorry to cut in right there. Like since you
yeah,
mentioned the
sure.
business done by Spurs this season, like even if you take Bale out, they have done some really good business. They've got Reguilon, which United were after. They've got Bale, of course. They have got Hochberg. They have got Doherty. They have signed Vinicius from, I think, Benfica, if I'm not wrong. I might be wrong there, but and they're also looking to sign one more player, Skurdiar, I think. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name correct. Skurdiar, I think. So they have got some pretty good signings. I think Daniel Levy, the CEO of Tottenham Hotspurs, has has done some pretty good business for Mourinho this season. So as you were saying,
I mean, on one side, Spurs they have such good signings, but Manchester United this season have failed to make any impactful signings. Only Van der Beek, if I'm correct. I mean, even when you look at the defense, Harry Maguire, he has not been playing well. Then Wan Bissaka, who was one of the most sought after players last season. But this season, Manchester United from third in the Premier League table, they might be going for bottom league. Am I correct? What do you think?
as you can see from the sadness on my face already, that I am not too happy with how United are playing so far in the league right now. As you said about transfers, they have bottled the transfer market badly this season. We were after this one player for 2 months, and we still haven't got him. Players, viewers who follow football will know whom I'm talking about. Jadon Sancho, of course, from Borussia Dortmund. So we were after him for 2 months, and Dortmund made it very clear that they only want 120 million for him, nothing less. They will not accept anything less. And United kept it till the last moment, hoping that they will reduce the price. They have not, and I think the deal is as good as gone right now. If we end up signing him on a Monday deadline hour, the fans all around the world will go crazy. But I don't think that's happening. That's my opinion. Apart from that, even for Donny Van de Beek, I do not think that Ed Woodward and Matt Judge had to do anything. Edwin Wondasa basically handed him over on a plate to us. Like it was totally Edwin Van der Sar and nothing that Ed Woodward and Matt Judge could have done. So yeah, terrible transfer business from Manchester United. I don't think we have done any good business. We have let go of Alexis Sanchez. So kudos, Ed Woodward. You have my thumbs up for that. Alexis Sanchez should have been thrown out long time ago. Arsenal fans
Wow,
for that, but
that
yeah,
hurts. That hurts, man.
Alexis Sanchez has been a terrible signing for us. So yeah, I'm happy he's been thrown out. So yeah, these were our hot topics. Just for a quick recap, like very short opinion, Saksham, what do you think about the Arsenal and Sheffield game?
Uh, I think this is going to be an easy victory for Arsenal. I should not be concerned. It would be okay if I don't even watch the match. But I'll say 3-0 to Arsenal.
I think 3-0 to Arsenal. I also think it's going to
Yeah.
be 3-0 to Arsenal. Easy game for Arsenal and Arteta, not a problem there.
And
We did not do our prediction for the City United versus Tottenham game. What do you think? What's the result going to be like?
I mean, under Jose Mourinho, 2-1 on Spurs favor. Yeah.
2-1 Spurs.
So,
I'll say 2-1 United. Let's see what
all
happens.
right. So,
And
like,
just one more game I think we'd like to talk about is Liverpool versus Villa. Villa has kept a clean sheet in all the two games that they've played so far. They have looked very stable in defense. They've won the two games. Liverpool has been, going strongly since starting of the season. They've won all the three games. What's the result going to be like there? And also to all our viewers, Mane has tested positive for COVID, and Thiago has also tested positive for COVID. So both these players will not be available. Taking that into consideration, what do you think Liverpool and Aston Villa game is going to look like?
I think it's going to be a tie.
Aye,
Uh,
okay.
yeah.
Hot,
I mean, as
hot takes dropping here.
all right. So Aston Villa, they do have the home advantage. Liverpool, they did so well against Arsenal. I hate it. They won 3-1. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
we did pick up the pace and we did have the tempo in the second half. But still, Liverpool, man, they've been so tough. And
Also,
I'm not
Lacazette,
sure.
man. Lacazette, man. He should have scored. 1-on-1 with Allison. How can you miss that?
I don't know, man. I mean, against a team like Liverpool, you can't miss any
You cannot
opportunity.
miss.
But Aston Villa, I think they are going to win this game because they have such a good defense. They have
Yeah.
Tarkowski and so many players. I have captain the FPL team. I think we can show them right now.
Yeah, yeah. We're going to be talking
What
about
are
our
your
FPL
predictions anyway?
soon. Yeah. So, what are your
Predictions for this
predictions
one?
for Liverpool and Aston Villa?
Draw, I say 2-2.
2-2 draw.
Yep.
Okay. I say 2-1 victory for Liverpool. I think it's going to be 2-1 victory for Liverpool.
All right. Let's see.
Okay, so let's move ahead to our next section for the game. Uh, it's just a segue into our next point. We were talking about Manchester United and the fixtures that they're going to be playing. So, as you can see here, Saksham, Manchester United is in for some tough fixtures in the coming 5 weeks. We play Tottenham home, Newcastle away, Chelsea home, Arsenal home, Everton away. So, really, really tough fixtures for Manchester United. What do you think?
I mean, this is tough because Manchester United, they don't have a really huge team. They are really, really dependent on a few players like Bruno Fernandes, and obviously we have Martial and
Rashford,
Rashford.
yeah. Correct.
So I mean, as games progress, they might uh, lose their form. I mean, against Chelsea, they are going to lose, I think so, because if I'm correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, but they do have one Champions League match to play before
Yeah, yeah,
Chelsea
yeah,
game,
yeah.
right?
So I'll just quickly tell our viewers. So after Tottenham, we all go to international break. Then we play away to Newcastle. Then we go to Paris to play against PSG on the 20th. Then we play Chelsea at home. Then we play RB Leipzig, the semi-finalists of last year, at home. Then we play Arsenal at home. Then we play Istanbul. I think we're playing them away. So we have a long journey to Turkey. Then we play.
Sort of, man, sort of. Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be a tough. It's going to be tough 2 months for United and United fans also. So coming to fixtures, since we're talking about fixtures, I think when we talk about fixtures, we also talk about the assets and how they are going to play. So that is our segue into talking about FPL. So here we are talking about FPL. On the right, if you can see, is my team, the FPL team that I have chosen to go with for the game week 4. And we are also going to be showing you Saksham's team in a while. So, Saksham, what do you think about my team first?
In the player to focus, I think De Bruyne, I mean, you can totally justify why he's the captain of your team. Sterling, he has been doing nice since uh, the end of the last season. And you do have some. Okay, you have Robertson. I don't think Robertson will be so much impactful this week because they are playing against Aston Villa. And
They're going to sit very deep. Aston Villa sits deep and defends like a team, solid team.
yep. And Fernandez. Okay, I think he's not a value-based player. I mean, if you have a lot of money in your bank, then sure, spend it on him. But against Tottenham Hotspur, he might score some penalties, but
Correct.
I don't think. But it's a good squad. I mean, you can look at. Okay, you have Calvert-Lewin. I mean,
Yeah.
he has to be the best. I think he has the most goals this season, right?
Yeah. 5 goals. 5 goals. He is joint top scorer with Jamie Vardy. Both of them have 5 goals. But in his favor, Jamie Vardy has 5 goals and 4 of them are penalties. So
that justifies it.
yeah, I think I had to have Fernandes. I'm a United fan. I need Fernandes in my team.
Yeah, it would be shameful if,
Yeah.
as a Manchester United fan, you don't have any players, and he might be the
Absolutely.
only good enough player in the team, right?
I think Rashford is an underappreciated differential in FPL. Matlab, he can get in, score some goals, but you have to be patient with him. You don't expect him to score week in and week out. So if you can be patient with him, he can give you good returns as well. I think one point that I needed to talk about for the FPL team right now is to double up or not to double up. And also in that regards, I'll also be talking about a little bit about Wolves. Last game week was a freak week for Wolves. They lost 4-0 to West Ham United. No one expected it. I had Jimenez, Saez, Podence in my squad. Podence did not play, so did not get any points for him. Saez and Jimenez got both scored, like both of them 0 points. So did not give me any good returns for them. So I personally had my best FPL weeks when I doubled up or tripled up on a single team. Okay, that is my strategy. So even this week, I'm not going away from it, but you might make a good case out of the point that probably spreading your risk across different teams in your portfolio might give you a better return right now, given the COVID situation and all of what is happening in the world right now. But I'm still sticking to my guns and going with a double up on both Wolves and City this week. If it does not pay off, I'll probably ship out. I'll probably ship out Jimenez and buy someone else. I'll see whom I can buy. And apart from that, I think one last point that I would like to speak about before we move on to Saksham's team is Leeds. Will the love story end? I think one point I would like to make is Marcelo Bielsa expects a lot from his players. He makes them grind, work hard, and run every week. Like they run at least a kilometer on average more than all the other teams. So they work that much harder. That also has a negative effect that towards the end of December, last season in championship, you could see them going down. If you have followed championship, you would have seen Leeds played excellent in the starting of the season. Towards the end of December, around Christmas, they went down. Their performances went down. They got up, they won the championship, but still. So if any of you are considering a Leeds asset right now, I think get them in right now, get the points, and ship them out before December starts. Do not keep them in December. They're not going to be that good. Saksham, do you have any opinion on what I just said?
If we move on to the next slide, I think you can see that I
Okay,
totally agree
yeah.
with you on that Leeds point, because I see I have Alioski and Koch in my squad. These two Leeds player. I mean, Mane is injured, so I think I'll be taking him out and put Davis instead.
Yeah.
Alioski against Manchester City. I think City will be scoring goals, so I might replace Alioski with Tarkowski. I mean, this Aston Villa squad has been playing so well, but
I think you're
he's
going to
down.
get
We
two
have
good
Vardy.
points from Aubameyang and Lacazette since you're playing against Sheffield, and it's going to be a comfortable game for Arsenal.
I mean, since we're talking about doubling up,
Yeah.
I think Aubameyang and Lacazette has always been a safe side. Even last season, they do score around 35 to 40 goals combined, which is really good in a
Yeah.
squad.
Yeah.
Sevilla was he did not play in the Carabao Cup, if I'm correct, so he
Yeah. Yeah.
might play this week. And
And I think
Jorginho,
Aubameyang and Lacazette also did not play in the Carabao Cup, so all of them should be fine and should be like raring to go.
Lacazette did play,
Okay.
so I'm hoping he will come out
Okay.
uh, with, with, as a sub.
Okay.
Ederson, he might not get a perfect score, but he will be playing against Leeds. Leeds is such a good attacking team that
Mhm.
it's not possible that City won't concede a goal. So expect not the best result from my squad, but there are some players that will do really good.
Understandable. So I think right now we should talk about the last 2 points. I'm going to ask you for one. I think one, yeah, one should be fine. One top pick. Like, who do you think is going to be a star player this week?
I think Kevin De Bruyne
Kevin De Bruyne from
against
Manchester
Leeds.
City
Yep, he's a
against.
game
Okay,
changer.
okay.
I mean, it
I
totally
think
depends on him how the tone of the game is going to be set. So I'll go with him. Yep.
I would go with Sterling from Manchester City against Leeds, but
Alright.
Sterling. I think Sterling will have a lot of opportunities to run behind the defense because Leeds also play kind of a high line. So Sterling will get a lot of space to run and to score goals. And Kevin De Bruyne will be right behind in the number 10 position, I think, to feed him the balls to score. That will be my topic. So both of us have chosen from Manchester City. You have chosen Kevin De Bruyne. I have chosen Sterling. So any of them performs better, good for me. I have them both of them in my team. So surprise,
That is.
who do you think can surprise us? Like one player who you think can surprise us this week?
I think I would have gone with Vardy, but he has already scored 5 goals. I think Lucas Moura from Spurs. I
Lucas
think he
Moura
will
for
be
Spurs.
really good. Since
Makes
Songs
sense.
isn't playing, Lucas might be the one going for the playmaking role. So
Achha.
yeah. I think he should be a good pick this week.
I think whom should I choose? I think mm, I think Mope can surprise us. Like Mope
Okay.
is not like he is not considered a great attacking option for a lot of teams, but I have seen from the little that I saw Mope play against United, even though his mistake cost the penalty at the end, but he's a nice player. And against Everton, I think he will have a few chances, and if he can score those goals, I think yeah, Mope can surprise us all.
All right.
So that is it from our side. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you like what you've seen, please consider liking the video. Please share, please subscribe. We are going to be coming in with more videos for you. And Saksham, any words from you to our viewers?
Yeah, I mean, Premier League, it's a content in itself, right?
Some strong words from Saksham right there. But I say that these have been only our opinions. We would like to hear from you. What do you think? Agree with us? Do you disagree with us? If you want something specific that you want us to talk about, please leave all of your opinions down in the comment section below. We'll be checking all of them out. Thank you so much again. This is Ankit Agarwal and Saksham Arya. This is Football Daddy. Please consider following us on Instagram, Facebook. We are the Football Daddy at Instagram, Football Daddy FC on Facebook. Thank you for watching. This is it from us. Bye.